The Obi-Wan Kenobi TV series is awful, but there are some people who are trying to portray it as the best TV since
their fate will be in each other's hands as they decide whether to share or to shaft.
Yeah, that was a real TV show over here. And I know some people like it, but there's a difference between just enjoying it and trying to portray it as some deep and meaningful addition to Star Wars canon. Those people, I can only say, are the kings of cope. And yet those are the articles we've got today. We start with Screen Rant and how Kenobi better explains two major, I'd remember that word, Obi-Wan moments in A New Hope. Not only are these major moments, but they were so complicated that they just required the audience to have them literally spoon-fed to them. That's why in Obi-Wan Kenobi, Episode 4, the titular, steady Jedi Master goes on a dangerous attempt to save Leia from Reva. But what major moment was explained? It's obviously that he was fairly confident that his Jedi mind trick would work against the Stormtroopers. And you're like, of course he was. He was a Jedi Master, and they were Stormtroopers working for the Empire. Not exactly renowned for their intellectual capacity. A lot like Disney writers. But no, as this article clearly explains, he was only confident that his Jedi powers, which he'd literally been practicing for a lifetime, would work, because this is what he'd done before in Episode 4, and so because he'd actually done it in Episode 4, clearly he knew it'd work in, ironically, Episode 4. All I'm saying, Disney, is maybe a Star Wars naming scheme's getting a little bit complicated right now. Granted, he struggles, but the fact it works gives him the assurance that he would need to easily do it again in Star Wars, because if he hadn't, for some reason, made a face as if he was constipated in the TV series, no one would have possibly understood how on earth a Jedi mind trick could have worked in the first movie that was made decades ago. This guy only had to come up with 2 examples of things that the Obi-Wan Kenobi actually contributed to the Star Wars series. And that's his opening gambit. The second one ought to be good. And don't worry, you won't be disappointed. Obi-Wan Kenobi sneaking around the Imperial base draws parallel to him navigating the Death Star in Star Wars. I said you weren't going to be disappointed. I know what you're thinking. I don't see how one has anything to do with the other. But let's give him a chance. In trying to locate young Leia, he may have familiarized himself with how the Empire tends to build its headquarters. This makes him better equipped to roam around the Death Star while on his own with Luke Skywalker. Yes, that's right. This author thinks that every single base is exactly the same, and somehow a Sith base on a moon has anything to do with a 120-kilometer wide space station spaceship of death. You know, one's built to house Reva's ego, the other's built to house a giant space laser of doom. Obviously, they're going to be exactly the same. That's why the show remains interesting, given that these seemingly inconsequential details, oh, they were inconsequential, all right, that actually have a significant impact on the Star Wars storytelling as a whole. With 2 more episodes left for Obi-Wan Kenobi, we expect more small, almost you could say non-existent details, but important moments like these that can only make the Jedi Master's overall story arc better. Obi-Wan Kenobi isn't a series where 2 people hide in a trench coat and walk through 500 people who have the literal IQ of a spatial vacuum. Oh no. This is contributing to the great tapestry, which is Obi-Wan Kenobi's character arc. It must be this rich tapestry which has led to Obi-Wan Kenobi making Disney Plus history with a special theatrical release. The show isn't just something that could have been a movie. Now, it's going into cinemas as the movie it always deserved. The reunion between Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan Kenobi and Hayden Christensen's Darth Vader was one of the most highly anticipated moments, I'd say dreaded myself, of Star Wars fans when they first crossed paths. It didn't exactly go as many may have expected. Understatement of the year with that one. Kenobi was crushed and broken. While he didn't fare well at his first encounter, there are still 2 more episodes for Obi-Wan Kenobi to see the scales get balanced. Don't worry, lads, we've killed the Grand Inquisitor and we've murdered Obi-Wan, but we've still got 2 episodes to retcon it all and get it back on track. All, you know, all the stuff that we've ruined through our own arrogance of writers that makes us think we can just do whatever we want and no one will care. And it's understandable why they have such high praise for the show, given that apparently its viewership numbers make it one of the biggest Star Wars epics to hit live action so far. And then I went through to that article, and they say it's purely based off its premiere, the number of hours streamed in its debut weekend. I mean, who would have thought that Obi-Wan Kenobi would have actually pulled in viewers on its premiere? But then again, there was not only 2 episodes, which definitely helped boost those hours up, but you also have the fact that people have to watch it to know it's awful. I'd love to see what those viewing figures were for Episode 4, and especially Episode 5, given just how awful Episode 4 was. All I'm saying is I don't think Star Wars fans will exactly be huge fans of two people, one trench coat. And Leia, great character Leia. Obviously, we needed her story explaining, which is why she's in this story, and not Luke. We know everything we need to know about Luke. What we need is to actually find out how amazing Leia was when she was a 10-year-old child. I mean, I'm kind of interested in how someone is 20 times more intelligent as a 10-year-old child compared to when they're an adult, but we may not get that one explained. We will, however, get an unwanted explanation onto why Darth Vader can't interrogate Leia in A New Hope. Basically, it's just because she's an amazing woman, which gives her the innate ability to resist Reva, and that means she can resist Darth Vader later on for some reason. There we go with Reva saving the day once again through being pure evil for the moment. But Screen Rant does say that admittedly Obi-Wan Kenobi Episode 4 did create a major plot hole. Major. Did they spot anything that anyone else had actually spotted? No, what they care about is a minor detail. Basically, Obi-Wan gets into the base by swimming underneath it, and this is almost identical to what Cal Kestis did in The Fallen Order. This means that someone got into the base 5 years earlier and they didn't fix the security hole. For me, this is a far lesser problem than the fact that he swam underwater, then climbed out of the water, and was bone dry at the other end. Firstly, I didn't know that the Force had a radiator setting to warm his clothes up. I mean, I actually think that the biggest plot hole is the fact that they clearly just copied the idea from the game, along with various other scenes in that episode, and didn't bother to change any of it. Firstly, because they didn't have any talent, and secondly, because they didn't even think about fixing a security hole. Why would they? They've written the Empire with their intelligence, which just means that the Empire never stood a chance. And then we really get into scraping the bottom of that muck barrel when we try and say that Obi-Wan Kenobi writer reveals the connection to the sequel trilogy's Kylo Ren. The head writer talks about Leia and Ben Kenobi's relationship, connecting the series to the original, and obviously, most importantly in Disney's eyes, the sequel trilogies. If Obi-Wan Kenobi set out to explain Kylo Ren got his birth name, then maybe the series has justified its existence as more than a cash grab. I think one of the key things to bear in mind when you are doing a cash grab is that you shouldn't piss off your audience enough so they'll never watch Star Wars again, especially when you've got a load of series coming out later on. Getting cash over a long period of time is far better than getting a small amount once. Then again, if the current hires working at Disney would actually understand anything about how quality actually impacts customer retention, maybe their stock price wouldn't be as in the gutter as it is. Look, we're only down 36% in the last 6 months. Nothing to see here. 46% in the last year. And over the last 5 years, we're down 10%. Hey, call me crazy, but I thought companies were supposed to grow and improve as time went on, not actually have a 10% net loss over 5 years. The Wicked Witch of the West melts when water gets thrown on her, and Disney seem to get destroyed when their actions are exposed to sunlight. But there's one question I know you've all got on your mind. How does Obi-Wan Kenobi improve the story of Rey? And for that, we can obviously find out that Tiny Leia makes Rey's story better. Why? Because Leia and Rey resist the mind probes from Reva and Kylo. This parallel draws a deeper connection between the two characters who are decades apart. It makes Leia's dead-eye training of Rey and the rise of Skywalker all the more meaningful. Leia's guidance of Rey after the death of Luke Skywalker and Han Solo is made more significant by the subtle, some would say non-existent, parallels found in Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yes, congratulations, the only thing that could make Leia more insufferable is tying her to Rey. I do sometimes think the word shill is thrown about a bit too much, but these articles are really stretching to find anything that they can possibly like, even if it's something which isn't very good, or is even an exact negative. For instance, I don't know, why Kenobi's missing secret weapon is making Darth Vader even better. What on earth could be Kenobi's secret weapon? Especially one which is missing. What does Kenobi not have that would make the rest of Star Wars better? I mean, I can think of loads of things that Kenobi's missing that could improve the show if they were added, such as talent or acting, but I can't think of anything that was removed from Kenobi that could have improved Vader. And that's because they think the fact that it has no Star Wars music in it actually improves it. Yes, Vader appears throughout the series, pulling the strings and acting as a menacing force, unless your name is Reva, in which case you can actually almost blow up an entire Sith base, and he'll just stop killing you for no reason whatsoever. Oh no, sorry, I forgot. The reason is because you're amazing. No, the true secret weapon is surprisingly each and every appearance of Darth Vader so far has not featured the Imperial March. That's like running a steakhouse and deciding that from now on you're just going to be all vegan. And look, I know Burger King had a vegan-only restaurant in London, which they ended because they thought they would have too much competition in the future when it became the norm. Yes, that's right, they tried to claim that their restaurant was so successful, or would be in the future, that they had to close it down. And so, obviously, removing the meat from the experience makes Star Wars better. I think that's common sense myself. I think that's common sense. That's absolutely not a writer who's been told he must say good things about Obi-Wan Kenobi and is desperately trying to find anything he can talk about. So he's like, okay, we're just going to use all of the problems as positives from now on. We're not going to say why it's good. We're just going to say it improves it. All right. Source. Trust me, bro. That's also how we end up with apparently the fact that Obi-Wan Kenobi seeing the Jedi tomb is crucial to his journey. What exactly is crucial about it? Well, obviously, it's because Obi-Wan didn't understand that the Empire were killing Jedi. No, I mean, he knows about Order 66. He's seen all of his friends killed, but at this point, he can't possibly know what the Imperials are doing. Because you see, when he entered the tomb, it stopped being theoretical and philosophical and starts being right in his face. Faced with the horror, it remains to be seen what effects it will have on Obi-Wan's psyche. This is what they're trying to spin as the thing which gave him his Force powers back. He's like, oh no, this is horrific. Now I've suddenly got to learn how to use my lightsaber again instantly in the next room. Look, we're just going to forget the fact that in the first episode, we literally had a guy dangling from a roof that the Inquisitors had put there, someone he knew and had denied help to. That's not going to bother him at all, but finding some people in amber, obviously massive impact on him. I would like to say, if this whole tomb is meant to be the Inquisitors saving all of their kills, then why did they just leave a guy dangling from a rooftop somewhere? If you want a good show, you can just hire talented people to write it for you. But Disney, they can't do that, because talented writers would have one thing at the forefront of their mind. How can we make a good show? What story should be told here? Where should Obi-Wan be? And what can we make fit into the canon? And they didn't want that. The first question they had is, how do we crowbar Leia and Reva into this story? The writer himself said that Leia was the only thing that could force him off the planet. They started at that position. It was never about Luke. It was never about guarding him or staying on the planet. They wanted him to leave Luke immediately because they don't like Luke. Luke is, problematic, especially when you get Leia and Reva to replace him. The moment you leave the position of, I want to write a good story, to, what story can I write around this? You've already lost, because you've tied your hands behind your back and now you're just scribbling words on a page with your nose. It's no wonder in that case that the show is trash, or that the people defending it have to reach to astronomical degrees to try and explain how it's all actually got this deep and meaningful story behind it that, quite frankly, if you just don't like it, it's because you don't comprehend it. It's because you don't understand it. It goes over your head. If only you were as intelligent as me and the writers, you would be able to grasp the true quality of this show. What we've got here is the Emperor's new clothes, except it's two Emperors in one trench coat. And because the trench coat's invisible, all of the stormtroopers should be able to see the two Emperors, but for some reason, they still can't. And I'd like to think if there was even a scrap of quality in the show, I would have seen it by now, given the fact that I spend about 8 hours a week just watching the thing. Hopefully, I would have noticed, and I can't. And I'm dreading Wednesday, because that's when Obi-Wan Kenobi Episode 5 review is due. Oh no. But with another week and another week of articles that I'm sure this time will tell me that no, Episode 5 was really the best piece of Star Wars that we've had so far, and explains a whole load of other invisible details that nobody notices, that can draw parallels as if it's Shakespeare in an English literature class, then for me, I think I'm going to remain at my current decision. And that is that Obi-Wan Kenobi is ass. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Like the video if you like the video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.